In the heart of Appalachian Mountains lies Corbin, Kentucky, a city with a rich history dating back to 1895. Once a bustling railroad town, Corbin faced economic challenges in recent decades, leaving behind vacant buildings and a struggling community. But a revival of the town is underway. As communities across America grapple with housing issues, Corbin is taking strides to improve the neighborhoods and provide affordable housing for its residents.
I came into office in January of 2019. I had been on the commission as a city commissioner and mayor pro tem for 2 terms of 2 years each, and just really felt like that it was time to kind of have a fresh perspective on the city and to reach a little bit higher for I felt like we weren't reaching our full potential.
Housing plays a central role in the revitalization of Corbin. As the city seeks to breathe new life into its neighborhoods, affordable housing initiatives have become a top priority.
Housing has been a problem nationwide, and it's gotten worse. And we are not, sadly, immune to that. We definitely have housing challenges here. We do have a new housing authority director, and he is working really hard to keep occupancy at 100%. And we're looking at possible other housing initiatives that we can be a part of. The city is, we've got a lot of great entrepreneurs that have been putting in rental housing and things like that, and that's important. But just the way that the economy is right now, it's really hard to justify building single-family homes, and then they're priced to the point where young adults aren't able to get into those homes. So it's definitely a problem and something that the country needs to address on what is the best practices on getting us back to where we can have affordable housing.
The goal really with HUD in particular, it was first initially set up for working families. So the long-term goal is not to say, well, come live in public housing forever, but it's to help you get that base, stable place to live. And then hopefully we'll have people applying for loans, and as the employment gets better, they may their income may increase, and they may even purchase their own home someday. We have about a 2-year wait list. But one of the things we try to do initially is to provide resources for emergency housing if that's needed. And then secondly, we try to get them to go ahead and get on the list, because sometimes 2 years can go by pretty quickly. And then once we accept the individuals, is to keep them in the housing. However, when you walk in one of our apartments, we have new flooring, we have new appliances. We try to be very diligent in maintaining the property at a high level. The Corbin Housing Authority is designated as a high performer. So that's not only financially, but it's the physical property. So when you drive by one of our properties, you won't see graffiti like you may in some communities. You will not see trash piled up. We walk the properties every morning, and it just pretty much sets the tone of, we're going to have a safe, inviting place to live, both for the elderly and for children.
When we first got there, I'm going on 3 years now, it's night and day. You look at the way the property looks. The first thing anybody sees is the surroundings when you pull in. So if the place is, like he said, graffiti, that's going straight to your head. But now everything's been improved. The landscaping, the parking, the opportunities that they have, the availability of the staff and the maintenance people. They know if they see one of my guys, that person's going to go out of their way to help. When we pull up on the property, you'll see the kids come running. Well, they know we've set them up pop stands. We had one boy who we built the sign for. He was standing out with a paper pop for sale, and he had the pop set. So we were already working on the center over there, so we built him a little sign. The kid sat out there and made $43 that day. Now, that's not to say that my guys didn't buy multiple things from him to help him out, but it shows that kid that puts that seed in his brain. I worked for this. I done this. I put this together. And you see him now. I don't want to ramble on about it too much, but again, I kind of was joking with him. He said, why can't I work for you guys? I said, buddy, if you'll be out here at 8 a.m, I said, we'll put you to work. Just joking. 8:05, that kid was standing out there, 8 years old, standing out there. He had set his alarm. He had come out. I kind of didn't know what to say, so I said, we're going to pick some trash up, just help us pick up trash, So sure enough, he did. But what gets me is when we asked him, what are you going to buy, a video game, this, that? No, I'm saving up to get my mom a car. And I mean, it's stuff like that about break your heart, So yeah, I think my guys and me, we have a hand in the people that live there, the elderly people that don't have anybody to depend on, the younger ones. It's a group effort. So you've got to have the right people for that. You can't have short-tempered or people that aren't. It's a job where you have to care about what you're doing. I manage the maintenance department, and that can be anything from general maintenance, work orders, people calling in a light bulb, to a catastrophe of a water line coming apart. With that also comes communicating with the office on when we're going to have an apartment ready, the efficiency in getting it done, the timing, the materials, the whole 9 yards. So it's a little bit to juggle, but like I said, I enjoy it. We have a designated guy on every property. So you may have two or three people working on that property for a remodel, but if, let's say someone's got a problem with a smoke detector, the battery's been beeping and they've called it in and it's not been changed in a week, I know exactly who to go to. This person should be responsible for that, and that's how it should be handled. It's a chain of command. See these same people every day. You see the same people. You know when they're having a hard time. You know when they're doing okay. So there's a lot more to it than just repairing, fixing something, getting an apartment ready. We know when people are coming in, what their situation is, what we can do to try to push them in the right direction, advice we can give them, people to send them to. So yeah, there's a lot more that goes into it. It's not as cut and dry as changing a light bulb. When we see somebody's trying, if they come in, there's people that come in and they are kind of just content. But then you have the ones that come in and you can tell they're in a tough space. A single mother, 3 kids. She never had a bank account, never had a cell phone, never had a car, never had a driver's license. When she started asking questions, how can I do this? How can I do that? How can I get my kids involved in this? We seen she was serious. So we took an interest in her. From that point, which was a little bit 2 years ago, the girl has got her driver's license, started a bank account, has her own cell phone that she pays for. It's not given to her, she pays for it. She got a job and a car. So she took that leap from just feeling suffocated and stranded by herself to she's living a successful life now, and she's only going up. But without somebody to reach out to that could point her in the right direction or focus that extra time on her, where would you be? So stuff like that makes us feel good to be able to go. I mean, stories of tribe.
While Corbin has been renovating, the community has rallied together to address one of its most pressing challenges, homelessness. A local church, First Baptist of Corbin, created the White Flag Ministry as a beam of hope for those in need.
So in 2017, we saw an uptick in homeless people that were sort of walking by our church and asking just for help on random things. And we had some homeless shelters in the area, but there weren't enough rooms and beds. And so we realized there was more we could do. And the goal was to sort of create our own shelter, but we didn't have the resources or the funds or the people to do it. And we were heading into the winter, and our fear was, well, what happens to these folks we're trying to help if we just do nothing? And so the thought was, at minimum, with the resources we have, we can partner with a local hotel and ensure that people get to stay in on really cold nights. And if we're doing that, we might as well provide some food as well. So big picture, we wanted to essentially open our own shelter, but we realized we could at least help in the winter and help folks survive.
I'm very grateful for like the White Flag Ministry and what they've done for our community, because personally, I think that the government, a lot of times when they get overly involved trying to solve a problem, actually makes the problems worse.
The impact of the White Flag Ministry extends far beyond providing physical shelter. It embodies the spirit of compassion and solidarity that defines Corbin as a comeback community. Volunteers work tirelessly to ensure that anyone seeking shelter is welcomed with open arms and provided with resources they need to regain stability.
Our leadership team is comprised of probably 8 to 10 churches or organizations / businesses or civic organizations. We have essentially offered out an invitation to anybody who wants to be a part of this, and they would send a representative. We put them on the team and they help us plan each season. We partner with several churches, all kinds of denominations. We partner with the Tri-County Elks. We partner with RRJ Solutions, who does case management. They're very beneficial in helping people find resources that are available to them, especially resources that might help them pay their first month's rent, their utility deposits, or those kinds of things. And so with all those partnerships, we found a lot of resources in Corbin that are useful for people. As for the elected officials and those kinds of folks in our area, they come and provide meals all the time. So one of the things we do in providing a meal throughout the winter is we rely on volunteers. And so they sign up online, and folks that have a heart for homelessness will show up and bring all the food and serve it and be a part of the ministry. And it's a really powerful way to see the community come together.
But behind the statistics and planning, there are stories of individuals whose lives have been transformed by the opportunity to have a place to call home. Once homeless, Daryl came to Corbin to find a fresh start. After 2 years of living on the streets, he soon found the White Flag Ministry. With their support, Daryl was able to access housing and the resources he needed to rebuild his life.
Well, I was about 24 years old, and in my hometown, things weren't really going good. And I had a big decision to make. Was either get a job or catch the bus, because like they say, the bus runs every day. And then I tried to I was just chasing something that wasn't there, being 24 years old, that young, getting out on your own. So, it was really a big challenge for me. And you have your ups and downs, but, when you really get a chance to calm down and sit and get to understand how your life is going to be, you have to take it one step at a time. My biggest challenges was really like any other homeless person, trying to find a home or connect with people to at least let me come to their home and take a shower, or meet people, get to know people to get me something to eat, or just pretty much walk on the streets all day and night and having people look at you a certain way or make certain comments. But, at the end of the day, you really have to thrive out here, even when you're by yourself or even when you're with a group of people. And so the experience is really tough. And some people pick the streets as their domain, because you get groups out here all the time, 2 people, 3 people. I describe it as just like being in jail, in prison. We out here bargaining. Every now and again, we come together as groups and trade things like that. For a pack of cigarettes, give me 2 packs of crackers and a fruit cup or something like that. So it's all about survival, really. I heard about the White Flag Ministry my second year here in Corbin, Kentucky. And I ran into a preacher named Paul Sims, and a lady that worked for a lawyer's office. Her name was Lynn Tipton. And they offered to help me and, get me on my feet, and at least accepting what they were offering to people. And me, myself, being in a new area, I didn't know these people, so I kind of rejected it. And me being from the North, I'm like, after seeing what I know on TV and seeing documentaries, I thought it was the same way. But the issue was me, because I came with the attitude, I came with the aggression, and I came with the, not trusting anybody. But these people just opened their arms to me and let me in.
Daryl was someone who came to us in our first season as a homeless person. We are now in our 7th season, and he is the first person that greets you every time you enter our space. So he came to us. He is now housed and has been for several years. He has a great story of just fighting through and being relocated and trying to figure out life and stumbling into us, partnering with us, and now sustaining himself. Daryl's the first person you'll talk to, and it's really beneficial because he knows a lot of the folks that are out there. They come in and think, all right, who are these people and do they want to help me? They see him and they say, oh, I know this guy. This must be legit. This must be people I can trust.
When they see me at the front desk or at the front door, they feel more comfortable because I'm somebody that they've seen or dealt with out here in the streets as well. From sleeping under bridges to behind abandoned buildings to empty houses. And it's that type of trust that I've built with people out here who have the same opportunity to help volunteer or help, come by every now and again and do things like that. And the biggest impact they've had in my life is that they've always stuck with me. Even though I'm on my feet and I have everything that I, have accomplished, but I wouldn't have got it without the White Flag Ministry. And Corbin, Kentucky, in this community, helps the homeless community, and we give back by lifting everybody up and giving them opportunities to live again, to put a smile on their faces, to put them into a home, to create their families and start working in other organizations and say, hey, I used to be that person. I'm not anymore. Let me see what I can do.
Daryl's story is just one example of the transformative power of community support and affordable housing initiatives. While housing and redevelopment are central to Corbin's comeback story, tourism also plays a significant role in driving their economic growth. The city's historic charm, coupled with its natural beauty, attracts visitors from near and far, providing a boost for local businesses and fueling the downtown revitalization efforts.
Super proud of our downtown. That's very, I think we led Southeast Kentucky in a lot of ways in the revitalization of our downtown. And now I see other cities that are also starting to prosper in their downtown because small businesses are feeling more confident that, they can start a business in their own small town and actually make a living and make a life for themselves and really contribute to the lifestyle of their communities. So I'm really proud of Corbin's downtown. I think that's something that we worked really hard on. We continue to see the businesses thrive and see new businesses come in. And I think that's really great, because there was definitely a problem nationwide where small towns were dying because people were moving to the big box stores, the chain restaurants, that kind of thing. And now there's this need to want to go back to something authentic. So we've definitely capitalized on that and prospered because of it.
When I first came to Corbin, I told the tourism board of directors that while we had the original KFC in the Cumberland Falls, what we didn't have was a destination. And so we have over, the course of several years invested a lot of money into the heartbeat of the city, which is downtown. So we've been involved in several brick and mortar projects where at one time there were blighted pieces of property. We've been able to fill those spaces with usable, attractive parks or the farmers market pavilion and other things like that. So we were able to really, working hand in hand with the city, we've been able to clean up downtown Corbin and make it a viable destination for people to visit and live.
tourism has definitely gone up. I think that Corbin is very blessed to have tourism assets such as the Sanders Cafe and Museum. He's one of the most recognized faces in the world. So, to have that kind of a tourism asset in your community is truly, it's hard to calculate what that means for us. Being on I-75 certainly helps us. Cumberland Falls, the Niagara of the South, has a Corbin address thanks to the Kiwanis Club that built the Corbin Kiwanis that built the road going to Cumberland Falls. So, just things like our downtown, our Cumberland Falls, and Sanders Cafe and Museum. We're a railroad town. We don't necessarily have a very active railroad now, but, there's a lot of railroad enthusiasts as well. So those are three great tourism assets.
My vision for the city is for us to continue to grow. I would like to see continued economic development. I would like to see continued economic stimulation, which is tourism's main mission. And we do that, in a variety of different ways. So bringing in more tour groups, more conferences and conventions, groups, that bring a lot of people with them to experience the city.
While Corbin continues on its journey of renewal, one thing remains clear: the resilience of its people and the power of community are the driving forces behind its comeback. Through housing initiatives like those that supported Darrell, are a commitment to preserving its traditions while embracing the future. Corbin stands as a beacon of hope for comeback communities everywhere. As the sun sets over the Appalachian Hills, Corbin proves with determination and compassion, any community can rise again.
There's a little piece of heaven in the southeast hills. In the state of Kentucky, it's my hometown still. Corbin, Kentucky is a place to be, the birthplace of the girls' KFC. Corbin, Kentucky, sweetest spot in the South. When I was growing up, the teens would circle cherries, go out to McFarland Cemetery, spend a Friday night at a Red Hound game, where the biggest fan of all would show more by name. Corbin, Kentucky, sweetest spot in the South. You could get a Dixie hot dog and maybe later catch a movie at the Hippodrome Theater. You might spot Junior down